Good evening, everyone out there. I am Dr. Pamela Robinson, and I am so excited this evening. This is a special edition of the Lotus Flower Podcast, and I am coming to you this evening because I am here celebrating a milestone. You might say, well, what milestone is it? Well, we are here celebrating our 100th episode of the Lotus Flower Podcast in season number 4. So we have reached the 100th episode here, and this is so exciting. It's so exciting because this moment here isn't just a celebration of something momentous. This is a movement across 4 powerful episodes. We have created a sacred space where stories of healing, faith, and resilience have taken root and flourished. So, once again, we are celebrating the 100th episode of season number 4 here on the Lotus Flower Podcast. And I want to show my appreciation to you, my listening audience. First of all, I would like to say thank you. Thank you, family, for your overflowing gratitude and your love and your support for this amazing podcast. This journey, this journey would not have been possible without you, my beautiful faith-filled community. And as my heart is so overjoyed with thanks and gratitude, I thought that it would be appropriate to come on and to give some of the products that I have been able to write and to develop over the last roughly, well, one of the books was written about, it's been roughly 20 years, but the other books that I wrote, there's been about 8 years ago, and my flashcards have been roughly about 8 years ago as well. So I said, what I would love to be able to do is give these products randomly to my podcast audience. And so this evening, as I come to you, I'm going to first of all show you my culturally affirming mental health products and tell you a little bit about them. And then I'll go forth and I'll just give those out. So come on in. I'll give you time to come on in. I see we have several people that are watching at this time. So you guys come on in and I'll give you a chance before I gift anything out. First of all, now I have one of my mugs. Now this mug, it has the Lotus Flower Podcast logo on the front of it. And I'm turning it kind of sideways because you really can't see it with that light is there. But I'll try to put it up to the front. This is one of the Lotus Flower Podcast mugs. It has my logo on the front. It says the Lotus Flower Podcast, Dr. Pamela Robinson. The flower that blooms in adversity is the greatest of them all. That used to be my tagline, and it's from Mulan, the motion picture. And that means that many people have come through adverse situations, sadness, depression, crises in their life, loss of income, all types of things that happen, unexpected, untimely deaths of loved ones and things of that nature. But being able to overcome those situations, that's that adversity, being able to bounce back from those situations, it takes resiliency. And so I've had some different things happen to me in my life. I had a few birthdays. So I've had a few things that I have lived through and been able to come out of stronger than I was. And because of that, I said, well, that's a really good motto that I would like to have as a part of my podcast. So it was actually something that I took on as my motto And it was the flower that blooms in adversity is the greatest of them all. That was the tagline. But now I have since switched the tagline, and I'm not going to tell you what it is because I'm going to see how many people out there that have been watching over the last several months that have been following really closely. If you can kind of type in the chat and maybe you can tell me what the new tagline is, okay? And maybe if you can, then you'll win one of these products. Okay, so then I also have my baseball cap. Now, this is a baseball cap, and it has my logo here on the corner of it. As you can see, that pretty flower, and then it says Dr. Pamela Robinson and all. So we have this as well. These two products, actually, I'm not going to gift out the mug, and I'm not going to gift out the hat. However, I am going to gift out the other products, as I said. So I'm going to tell you a bit about them. So the first thing I'm going to gift out is my Blooming with Hope Parenting Educational Manual. This culturally relevant guide is to help families manage stress, improve communication, and nurture your children with the love and growth and wisdom that they deserve. Now, the next thing I'm going to gift out is my Blooming with New Coping Skills Emotional Regulation Flashcards. I created these flashcards with a designer that I used to work with in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I told her exactly what I wanted on the cards and what words I wanted on the cards. And do you know, she took what I said, and it was just an idea, and she was able to bring it into fruition just from an idea. So we have these flashcards that I created. And the reason I created them also was because as a therapist, when working with children of color, I often find that there aren't a lot of products out there that look like those kids that I'm working with. And so I said, well, just to be relevant, I am going to go ahead and create a product that has pictures of children that kind of look just like the ones that I oftentimes are counseling. And so that's where the Blooming with New Coping Skills Emotional Regulation flashcards came from. And this is a fun-filled game that's helping to engage children with their essential coping strategies. Teachers have used this game. Mental health clinicians have used this game. We have had it used by the Wake County Guardian Ad Litem program that I'm a guardian ad litem with. They have used this particular game with some of the children that they work with in the foster care system. It has been used in different churches, in the youth groups. It has been used at the Kalamazoo Public Library in Kalamazoo, Michigan, where I am from. They've got a circulation of products called All the Things. And they have my cards as part of those products that people can literally check out from the library. And it's available on Amazon. And I just thank God that this product has helped so many people. People have purchased the products. I have streaming on my Facebook page, two little girls. Those girls' mom purchased a set of those flashcards, some of the first people that purchased those cards. And she was able to take pictures with her daughters, and they just really enjoyed those cards, not only them, but just a variety of other people. And I also used the cards in my own outpatient counseling with children. And then I also have my book that I'm so proud of. It is the first book that I wrote, and it's The Color of Hope, African American Mental Health in the Church. Now, this is a powerful blend of faith and culture, and it's psychology blend also with spiritual practices, and it is aimed at the African American community, but however, it's here for all people to enjoy. So those are the products that I have this evening. Now, as a licensed clinical social work associate and a doctoral theologian, I have published these 3 books, and I have also developed these flashcards. Now, like I stated in the beginning, this milestone that we're here celebrating today is because I want to encourage you. I want to share with you, and I want to say thank you all just for following me in this podcast. You know, it's been roughly 7 years that I've been here in the platform, and I am so encouraged to be able to be here. Now, go ahead and tag your friends, share this link, and just join me as we celebrate. Yes, this milestone. Now, I would also like to go ahead and show you the products at this time. So, first of all, as I stated, this is the Blooming with Hope Parenting Educational Manual. As you can see, I'll hold it back off that light. Now, this manual is, I'll read on the back inscription. It says Pamela Robinson, D-Man, MDiv, and all the alphabet soup back there. I'm going to leave that off. Is a founder and co-pastor of the Emerging Hope Ministries. That was years back when my late husband and I had a ministry in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Emerging Hope is a fortifying ministry committed to preaching in the gospel and all of that. But to skip down a little bit further, this manual was written when I was actually going through a situation in my life. I had been married and I went through a biblical divorce. And after going through that, I was a social worker at the time at the bachelor's level, and I was able to take the experience that I went through as a newly found single mom, and I was literally able to write this curriculum from it. I first wrote the first edition way back in 2002, and the second edition in 2012, and the next edition in 2018. And so this is the latest edition. And on the back, it says Dr. Robinson has more than 25 years of experience in the nonprofit secular arena and in the academic setting. And I am so happy to have written this manual. Inside of the manual, it has several chapters. It has the plight of the single parent as the first chapter in the book. And when we talk about the plight of the single parent, we talk about how to handle stress, how to actually raise children as a single parent in a happy, healthy environment. There are you can't see it, so I'll just go through it. There are blank pages in this manual that I left blank because I want the people, as they're using this manual, to be able to write in what they're learning and answer the questions right here on the manual. And then if we turn down even further into the next chapter, it is talking about chapter 2, toxic family systems. And we talk about adults who hurt as children inevitably are oftentimes displaying their inner child and some deep wounds that were left unhandled, and they carry it into their adult relationships, and oftentimes it creates a toxic family system. So that entire chapter, in chapter number 2, talks about that. Then we move on over to chapter number 3. And as we talked about chapter number 3 in this book, chapter 3 talks about breaking the cycle of dysfunction. And then, so this book has 5 chapters. Components of Resilience is chapter 4, and Poverty is More Than Money is chapter number 5. Once again, I am going to give this book out to several people, not just one copy, but several copies out to you this evening. And if you don't get a copy, this is available on Amazon, or you can reach out to me and I will actually be able to get one directly to you into your hands as well. Now, the next thing I want to gift out. Hey, I see you all out there watching. Welcome this evening, and thank you for coming on in and watching the podcast and sharing the link with others as well. So, now I also want to show you this. This is the book that I wrote, and actually, this book was extrapolated out of my dissertation. Out of my doctoral dissertation, I was able to go ahead and write this book. So, after writing a doctoral dissertation, oftentimes a dissertation is something that you write, and you write it in such a way that it is full of research and data and graphs. Who wants to sit and read something that's stuffy? So I said, I am going to actually take from the dissertation the parts that are relevant to lay people, and I'm going to use those parts and write a actual book from it. So that's what I did. I was able to write this book from the dissertation. So this book, it says on the back, one of the reviews, it says this book is a must read, not just for the African American church community, but for all people, denominations, and ethnicities who are caregivers and care receivers from all walks of life, who are dealing with persons in their family, in their communities, schools, churches, and across racial lines that may have mental health challenges. So, this book is to broaden our understanding about how to help those that are dealing with these modalities. And we are here to let you know that Dr. Lafayette Maxwell, one of the former professors and doctoral theologians at the Apex School of Theology, wrote that review for me some time ago, and I am so grateful. But once again, this book has several chapters in it. It has acknowledgments, it has a foreword, the introductions, then it has chapter 1, Am I Out of Place? Chapter 2, Hidden in Plain Sight. Chapter 3, The Black Church, a Change Agent. Chapter 4, Facing Unique Challenges. Chapter 5, Mistrust. And Chapter 6, The Hope Culturally Centered Model. And then on the back matter here, it has the history, the appendices, definitions, a reference list, recommended reading, about the author, and book reviews. So, this book, The Color of Hope, African American Mental Health in the Church, is going to be gifted out to several of my audience tonight, and I will be randomly selecting you. The last thing that I do want to show you is so special to me, and this is the Blooming with New Coping Skills Emotional Regulation Flashcards. There we are. These flashcards, as I stated when I first started talking this evening, they were created just out of my brainchild, meaning that I kind of thought about it, and I thought about what I wanted to have on the cards and how I wanted them to look, and wanted to make sure they represented kids of color. And so I was working with a designer for probably 10 years in Kalamazoo until I moved to Raleigh, North Carolina. And she knew exactly what we wanted. When we would tell her what we wanted and how we wanted things designed, she just was able to run with it. So I was able to give her my vision for this, and she was able to go ahead and develop the face of this. As you can see, these cute little kids here on the front. So on the back, this says, get your kids excited as they entertain themselves with our Blooming with New Coping Skills flashcards. They'll be proud of themselves as they learn to deal with their big emotions while playing our fun-filled, culturally affirming, relevant game. So this game, once again, can be purchased on Amazon. It can be purchased at the Lotus Flower Etsy shop, or you may contact me to purchase it as well. However, tonight I'm going to be gifting several boxes of this to my audience just to say thank you all. So I'm going to open it up though. I'm going to love to show you these cards. So as we open the box, you can see it has the covering here. It's nice cushion. Then I'll take that right off. And then from the cushion that's there to keep them safe as they're being mailed, I have the first card. And you can see from the first card here, it's Blooming with New Coping Skills Flashcards. And on the front, it says that, see the little children there on the front. They're looking so happy, all different races. And it says, everyone needs to be able to cope with life's emotions and stresses in healthy ways. Children, it's a wonderful time as we're growing up, but sometimes it can be a little bit challenging. And sometimes kids may not know how to express those really big feelings. So these flashcards will help them to learn to get along better with others. It would help them to learn how to be able to maintain friendships. It will help them to be able to learn how to better manage their experiences that occur while they're at school or in other settings outside the home. It will also help them to learn to be a resilient adult because of the tools that they'll take away from this game. Now, kids sometimes may not even realize that playing this game, they're actually learning while they're playing. So that's why I'm so happy to be able to be gifting this to you all tonight, because it will help to build a child up. And we're all about building people up here on the Lotus Flower Podcast. So I'm going to show you a few of the cards. So this is one of the cards. This card says anger, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, as I stated, sometimes it's hard for kids to express those really big emotions that they might be feeling. And so instead of expressing them correctly, they may go and kick the wall, or they may have a temper tantrum and roll all over in the floor and cry and scream and just lose it. However, this card, when I'm sitting, or you parent or youth group leader, TT, grandma, whomever might be with that child, when you see them having that frown on their face and they can't really tell you what's wrong, you can take out one of these cards, and this one happens to be anger, and you can go through the card deck. And as you're going through the card deck, you can say, can you point to the card that you are feeling like right now? And as they're looking through the deck, they just might point to the card that says anger. And as they point to that card that says anger, that means that they will be able to tell you what they're going through without even having to verbalize it. They might not have the words to say, I'm angry. So they might point at this card, and then that's going to be your opportunity to open the door and begin to talk to them about how they're feeling. And even if they don't want to talk, on the back of my cards, there are coping skills. Now, of course, you can't probably see that, but I'll read it to you. Now, I had wrote these coping skills on the back. A coping skill is a tool that kids are taught to use when they are feeling a certain way. Like you have something at your home that requires a screwdriver. And in your toolbox, you might have a screwdriver, some pliers, a hammer, and those things. Well, there are certain tools that fit certain situations. And so since I have coping skills on the back of my card, these coping skills fit the situation of anger. And I'm going to read them to you this evening. Anger. When I would tell a kid, when you're feeling angry, you can do this. You can build a pillow fort. You can read your Bible. You can go outside for a bike ride. You could color, or you could hug one of your stuffies. This could be something that would be helpful for a kid that doesn't know how to express anger. Another card in the deck is jealousy. Yes, kids feel jealousy. And with this emotion, look at this pretty little girl on that card. Now you think, well, how could a pretty little girl like that have such a big, ugly emotion? It happens. Sometimes it's the exterior that fools us. But on the inside, when we can't express that emotion, we might hide it behind that pretty little smile and all the pretty little exterior stuff. But let me tell you, when a person is feeling this way, especially a little kiddo, they may not know how to tell you that they're feeling that way. So once again, we take out those cards and we go through the cards and we go through all of the emotions on the cards with the deck. The deck of cards has 28 cards in it. So I would go through these cards like this with my little kiddo, and I'd say, are you feeling this way? 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 And they most likely will point out the way that they're feeling. So back to jealousy, they might say, no, Dr. Robinson, I'm feeling this way. So if they're feeling jealous, I would say, well, that's okay, because we all have these really big emotions that we feel from time to time, and we just may not know how to express those really big emotions. And that's okay, because we're here to help you and to equip you to learn how to actually express that emotion and to handle it in an appropriate way. So, with that being said, I will tell them about the coping skills that are on the back of the flashcard. And as I said, I know you can't read that small print, but I'll read it to you. Now, I will tell them, a youth group leader, I could be a pastor, I could be their mama, their grandmama, their auntie, their big sister. It could be them themselves, their teacher, their therapist. All types of people can use these cards with the little kiddos. So I would sit with the kiddo and I would say, this is what you can do when you're feeling jealous. You can study hard. If you're jealous of another kid and you think, well, they're doing better than me, getting better grades and all that and all the praise, you could say, what I could do is I could study myself. I could set out a plan to make sure that I am studying and I am doing the best that I can do so I can get good grades as well. You could also tell the kiddo, don't compare yourself with other kids, including your siblings. You are unique and you were made just the way that you were supposed to be made. So celebrate yourself and be happy with who you are. You could also tell the kiddo that it's very important that you learn the importance of caring and sharing. So when you learn to share your belongings with other children, it not only helps to make you a better person and a better friend, but it helps to make the entire environment a better place for all of us to be. So it's bigger than you, kiddo. And you could also tell them too, if you're jealous of something or someone, oftentimes going out and doing random acts of kindness, like me gifting these products tonight, will help you to feel better yourself. Take your eyes off of me, and put them on helping someone else. Those are two of the cards in the box. So I'm not going to go over all the other cards, but I'm going to quickly show them to you. So we have the one called jealousy. We have the anger card. We have this card of sadness. We have this card. It says being anxious. I'll turn a little bit for you to see sadness. And then we have this card that says the anger fireworks on it. This card says what triggered your anger. So we're going to ask the kiddo, what made you feel angry? And then we have this card that talks about your thoughts and feelings. As you can see from this card, it has different faces on it, and the kiddo can point to those faces and it says, what were you feeling and thinking? So they can point to, I was feeling this way. And on the back, there are more faces. So the kiddo doesn't have to use words, they can actually point to the way that they were feeling. And then I'm going to show you this card. This one I've got to show to you. This little girl is standing here. And on here, there's a scale that you can't see due to that light, but it says my body parts feel certain ways. So when I'm feeling a certain way, if I'm feeling angry, if I'm feeling anxious, if I'm feeling jealous, if I'm feeling sad, how does my eyes feel? How does my feet feel? How does my mouth feel? How does my belly feel? How does my hands feel? So we're walking the kiddo through every part of how they might be feeling. And then that's going to help them to be able to better express those really big emotions. Once again, this is the Blooming with New Coping Skills Emotional Regulation Flashcards for kids. And then on the back of the box, I'll show you the very back of the box as well. So it has the inscription there. It has why was this developed. It has a QR code where to scan to get more products as well. So those are the 3 products that I am gifting out tonight. And I see several people that are on the screen. And I want you to go ahead, if you can, type your name in the chat for me so I can know exactly who you are. So the chat room is open and you go ahead and type your name there. And I'm going to be able to gift these products to you. Once again, the Blooming with New Coping Skills Emotional Regulation Flashcards. I'll get the light off of them. And also, we have The Color of Hope, African American Mental Health in the Church, my very first book that I wrote. And we have the Blooming with Hope Parenting Educational Manual. And this was a manual that I wrote several years ago, first edition in 2002, and the very last in 2018. And I am so happy to be able, that's the back of the manual. And so I am so happy to be able to gift these to you. I want to show you this before I go ahead and move forward with more of what I'd like to share. This is, as I'm sharing, a thank you. This card is one of my business cards, and on it, it has my picture there. But we want to be able to get that to you in the package that I'm going to send out. We have this thank you card. It's a small thank you card. Maybe you can see it, that I'll be putting in the package to you. I have one card here that shows the book cover. And on the back of it, it has from Amazon, if I can get that to show, the Amazon link and a little bit of the description. And then I also have these that are going to be in the packet that I send to you. This is the Blooming with New Coping Skills card. And it tells what the product is and what it's about, along with my logo at the bottom. I have another card that is showing the front of The Color of Hope, African American Mental Health in the Church book. I have also a copy of my dissertation here. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'll put it away from the light, but you may not be able to see that one. It's very, very light. Maybe if I turn it this way. But it is one of my dissertation cards. Even though I'm not gifting that out, I want to get that into your hands as well. And then I have my Blooming with Hope flashcards card, and I have my Blooming with Hope Parenting Educational Manual card. These will all be coming to you inside of one of these pretty envelopes here in this pretty bag. You see that? As well as this, I have white and I have pink. So when I put these in the mail to you, I'm going to put this in the mail as well as this in the mail to you. And I have a small piece of candy. I'll go ahead and get that now. I'm going to go off screen for a moment. I just got these in the mail from Amazon, and I'll be putting these in the bag as well. These small pieces of candy. And on the pieces of candy I have here, there's scriptures written on the front. This one says, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. This one says, the Lord is my light. So I'll be putting several of these candies inside of the bags that I'll be sending out to you as well. So in this white bag, I'll be putting several of these in as well. And I'll be sealing them up. And I'll be sending this out to several of the random audience members. I'll be putting those in the mail tomorrow. So I'm not going to announce your names on screen, but I'm going to go back and get your names, and then I will PM you. So that's private message you to get your address, and I'll be putting those right in the mail tomorrow evening with one of these that has all the information as well, so that you can actually be blessed by these products. I want to once again thank you for joining me and being a part of the 100th milestone episode of the Lotus Flower Podcast. Once again, this is more than just a moment. This is a movement across 4 powerful episodes, 4 powerful seasons. And this space is so sacred. We have guests that come on and they share their stories of resiliency, and their stories are rooted in faith, and they are rooted in how they were able to flourish, sometimes even in unfavorable situations. So once again, I am Dr. Pamela Robinson of the Lotus Flower Podcast, and I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the covers at this time of some of the episodes that we have been able to have on over these last 100 episodes. Now, of course, I won't be able to show you all 100 of the podcast fronts, but I'll show you several of them at this time of some of the guests that have been on starting now. This episode was with Miss Elisa Gilliard, and the topic was the purpose of our paths navigating social skills and community for neurodivergent individuals. And that was on some time ago. This particular episode of the Lotus Flower Podcast was on a topic of homemade health and healing. And my special guests were Marcus and Bianca Anderson, founders and CEO of Organic Royals LLC in Raleigh, North Carolina. Now, this particular episode was with one of my former colleagues, Mr. Benny Jones. And he came on and he came through and talked to us about fueling your inner fire, understanding and embracing motivation. And we were so grateful to have had him on the podcast. Now, this is a very special episode that I am so happy to bring back to your remembrance. You all remember when we had Dr. Long on. Dr. Long, she is one of the former professors at the Apex School of Theology, where I attended for my MDiv and DMin. And I just love Dr. Long. She was one of my most favorite professors, and Dr. Long was so diligent and so loving. And she came on as my guest on the podcast to tell us about something super special. And that is she completed the writing of her first book. She said it took her probably over 30 years to get that book out, but she did, and she came on for the first time in a public space like this and told us all about the book. And I was even able to gift several copies of her book out at no cost to you, my listening audience. And then I want to show you this one. This particular book right here is of Reverend Dr. Gladys Long, entitled Becoming a Voice for God. And you can see right there, we were so happy to have her on. And then this episode, oh, I was so happy to have these people on. Why? Because these are children, two teenage children and their father. They have their own business and they are doing big things. These two children and their father, they have actually published over 20 books for kids. And so they are the founders and CEO of Genius Reading LLC. And Jewel and Elijah Williams, we are so super proud of you if you all are watching tonight. And so they were on with that episode. And then we have also one of my former colleagues, once again from the Apex School of Theology. I think he was a year behind me getting his Doctor of Theology degree. And so this particular gentleman, he came on and he came through. He came on and he presented a topic about underneath it all in season 4, episode 76. And Dr. Robert L. Locklear, we truly appreciate your support of the podcast. He's been on several times. And then we had my cousin come on. She is an attorney, and attorney Glenetta Heyman, and she came on and talked to us about the importance of estate planning. And oh, this was her second time on, and I am so grateful to have had her on the podcast. I'll show you just a few more, and then we're going to be done. I'll show you this one that has several people on it. I was celebrating Black excellence, as I always do. And that particular month of February, every Thursday in the month, I had one woman come on. And I tell you, the first woman was my cousin, Kayla Heyman. Not cousin, I'm sorry, my niece, Kayla Heyman, just a beautiful, sweet spirit. And then a good friend of mine and my former beautician, Lalani Woolhite, a very good colleague and friend of mine, Dr. Keetra Davenport King, and then Miss Kimberly Iverson, one of my church family members, and as well, she was on, as well as her husband was on some time ago. And then Miss Pinky Sother, and renowned African-American storyteller and author here in Raleigh. So these women got it going on, y'all, and they were coming on through. And then I had with me Mr. Anthony. He came on and joined us in June. I had with me this wonderful lady. She is just wonderful, has her own business. She's a psychiatric nurse practitioner, and she lives and works out of Raleigh, and especially in rural areas in the Raleigh, North Carolina area, has done some amazing exploits, and I'm thanking the praising the Lord for her. This is her again, Miss Shamika L. Johnson, and oh, she did a wonderful job coming on and sharing. And I have my friend and colleague, sister in the Lord, wonderful, resilient woman that had just completed her doctorate degree. Dr. LaShondra Wayne came on and spoke with us. I am so happy to have had her. And then I had my friend, Miss Tasha Walker. Oh my, what a woman of fire. Came on and talked with us about faith in the fire and some things that she had gone through and how she was able to rise and bloom out of those situations. And I also had Ms. Lenora Sumblin, and I'm calling her Dr. Sumblin because she's just about finished with her doctorate degree, and she was on and she came in and came through. And I'm going to be gifting several of her books out as well. We're just in the process of getting those ordered. And when they're in, I will be gifting those books out to you all as well. Now, next Thursday, well, this coming Thursday, I'm going to have my friend back on, Miss Nicole. Now, we tried to have her on this date on July the 24th, but we were having technical difficulties. And so I had to end the podcast that evening. And then I moved forward with letting everyone know that we rescheduled Miss Nicole. And so she's coming back on Thursday with this very same episode. Yes, yes, yes. And so I'm so grateful. I am so grateful. And then back to the free book giveaway, 100th episode celebration. Yes, Lord. So, once again, the 100th episode celebration of the Lotus Flower Podcast. We are so super excited that you joined us tonight for this. And on the front, you can see the products as well. And I want to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for celebrating with me this evening. The 100th milestone episode of the Lotus Flower Podcast. We have had 4 seasons. We have started roughly 7 years back, and we are grateful. I am Dr. Pamela Robinson, and I am so excited once again that you counted not robbery to join me this evening. Be sure to type your information in the chat. I see you all out there. The numbers are going up for those that are watching, and then type them in the chat or type them there in my Facebook chat. Private message me. We don't want anyone getting your information because we know everyone out there isn't honest. I'm sorry to have to say that, but there are some scammers. So put them in the chat, private chat, and I'll get your names and I will get these products out to you. Once again, the Blooming with New Coping Skills Emotional Regulation Flashcards, the Color of Hope African American Mental Health in the Church book, and the Blooming with New Parenting Educational Manual to you all this evening. I do have my other products, but I won't be gifting those out this evening. And I want to let you know that I'm so excited tonight because I am going to be participating in a community event at my church on, I believe, the last Sunday of this month. And it is called the Black Business Expo. And I'll be taking my products there, and we're going to be able to share richly with our church community and the community at large. These products, I'll be one of 20 Black businesses that will be in the building that day. And I am grateful for the opportunity to be able to bless people and to just expose people to these culturally affirming products that I'm sure will help to enhance, encourage, and enrich your lives even further than they already are. So once again, thank you so much for joining me for the Lotus Flower Podcast special episode of the Lotus Flower Podcast as we go forth with the 100th episode. Yes! Thank you again for joining me. I'll look forward to seeing everyone on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as we stream live on the Dr. Pamela Robinson Facebook page and on the Lotus Flower YouTube channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and may God richly bless you all. And I love you with the love of the Lord. And my tagline that I said I wasn't going to tell you all because I wanted you to type it in the chat. My new tagline, and it is this. Until next time, remember that we are faith-fueled, battle-tested, and blooming boldly. Bye-bye for now, and may God richly bless you. Have a blessed, sunshiny, and prosperous day in the Lord, wherever you may find yourself. Oh, you know what? Before I go off, I'm going to show you a brief commercial of some of the impact that the podcast has had with the audience over the past 4 seasons. So watch and listen in before we go ahead and log off. Here we are now. I almost forgot to show you all that video clip of some of the impact that we've had on the podcast, and we are grateful for that. And once again, I am signing out for now, and I look forward to having you all back in the virtual and audio spaces with me on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. May God richly bless you. Bye bye for now. May God richly bless you. And once again, thank you all for joining me this evening. Have a blessed evening. Bye bye for now.